My name is Nasreen. I am a formerly undocumented child slave labor survivor and women's empowerment leader. I come from an undocumented village near the India and Nepal border where girls are the unacknowledged. Due to my birth being undocumented, like most people from where I am from, I'm not sure how old I am. My guess is 27, 28, 29 years old. From the moment of birth, the society tells the rural girl children that her existence is insignificant. If one's own birth does not matter, then the condition in which she lives, works, strives, suffers, and dies also do not matter. At an early age, I came to believe as girls we are simply commodities that are bought and traded. As such, we are not human beings. Growing up, I witnessed incomprehensible atrocities against children and women, including witnessing some of my own female family members being murdered for speaking up and standing up for themselves. By age 9 or 10, my life seemed destined for the same oppressive path. I escaped my village for the capital city of Kathmandu, where I immediately was subjected to child slave labor for the textile industry. I was working 12 to 15 hours per day in a sweatshop as a child laborer, receiving less than $2 per grueling shift, only if I completed the hundreds of garments demanded of me. I ate, slept, and toiled in a sweatshop workstation the size of a prison cell, often picking sewing threads out of my food and being too afraid to look out of the window. I was surrounded by pieces of clothing day and night. I hated those clothes. They were woven with the energy of my suffering. At the end of each day, I would collapse onto the large bundle of clothes and daydream about where they would end up and who would wear them. Some of you may be wearing those clothes right now. Like all girls in my village, I was not allowed to go to school. My older sister was forced into marriage by age 12 and I was next in line. But through a serendipitous encounter with a kind stranger who provided the only education I ever received, starting with how to read and write, I was able to seize my own destiny by escaping the sweatshop and forced marriage. Around the age of 16, I managed to secure a loan and founded local women's handicrafts and later Empowerment Collective on a mission to end sweatshop, forced labor, poverty, all with the help to inspire a movement for ethical fashion in Nepal capital's Kathmandu, the city in which I worked as a child laborer. Currently, our team is working on our 1 million mask initiative, which was birthed due to COVID-19. Each mask is hand sewn by marginalized women in Nepal in exchange for emergency food for their families during the pandemic. The sale of one mask feeds 10 to 13 people a day in Nepal. Our goal is to feed millions. I survived the grueling environment and trauma that came with being a child laborer, and to think there are still over 150 million child laborers working right now pains me more than ever you will imagine. You must help us stop child labor and sweatshop. Start by asking yourself where your clothes come from. If you work in the fashion industry and you own a business, know your supply chain and where you are sourcing things from. Figure out who is sewing the clothes and make sure they are being paid fairly. We are all humans and need to look out for one another now more than ever. Thank you so much to Copenhagen Fashion Summit for having me, and please connect with us via our website or social medias to read stories of the many women I work with. They would love to hear more about what you're doing to end child labor, eradicate sweatshop, and fast fashion. Thank you so much for listening.